Agriculture planting materials. Planting materials. Types of planting materials. Seeds. Seeds are produced by flowering after pollination and fertilization. They contain the part of the plant that germinates and subsequently grows into new plants. Advantages of using seeds as planting materials. Seeds are easily treated against soil-borne pests and diseases. They are not bulky, therefore storage is easy. They are easy to handle during planting, making operation easy. When planting seeds, it is easy to use machines like seed planters and drillers. It is easy to apply manures and fertilizers together with seeds during planting. Fertilizers and manures application can be easily mechanized. It is possible to develop new crop varieties due to cross-pollination. Disadvantages of using seeds as planting materials. Some seeds have long dormancy and they may need special treatment in order to germinate. Plants raised from seeds have variations from the mother plant due to cross-pollination. This may introduce undesirable characteristics. Soil-borne pests may damage seed if left for some time in the soil before rain falls. Some seeds may lose viability if stored for a long time. This leads to gaps in the farm. 1. Vegetative materials. These are plant pots which have the ability to produce roots. They grow and develop into new plants. Plant pots such as leaves, roots or stems can be used for planting as long as they are capable of rooting. Advantages of using vegetative materials for planting. Crops originating from vegetative materials matures faster than those from seeds. The crop shows uniformity in such qualities as disease resistance, seed size, color, keeping or storing quality, and chemical composition. It is possible to produce many varieties of compatible crops on the same rootstock. Use of the vegetative materials is easier and faster, especially where seeds show prolonged dormancy. The resulting plant has desired shape and size for ease of harvesting and spraying. Agriculture planting materials. Disadvantages. Vegetative propagation does not result in new crop varieties. Keeping the materials free of diseases is difficult. Materials cannot be stored for long. The materials are bulky and therefore difficult to store and transport. Plant pots used for vegetative propagation. Bulbils. These are tiny sisal plants produced in the inflorescence almost at the end of the plant growth cycle. They resemble the mother plant except that they are smaller in size. They are produced by the branches of the sisal pole. When mature, they mature, they develop rudimentary roots and fall off to the ground just below the pole. They are collected and raised in the nurseries before they are transplanted to /the main field. One sisal pole may produce as many as 3,000 bulbils. They are usually tinkum long. They make good planting materials and are better than worm and 2 splits. These are plantness divided from the existing mother plant with complete leaves and rooting system. They are used to propagate most pasture grasses and pyrethrum. Pyrethrum splits are raised first in nursery and then transplanted to the field. Roman 3. Crowns and slips. These are materials used to propagate pineapples. Crowns are borne on top of the fruits and are broken off and prepared for planting. They are more preferred to suckers because they give uniform growth and take 2 years to reach maturity. Slips are borne to the base of the pineapple fruits. They are cut and prepared for plantings. Their growth rate is faster than for crowns, giving average uniformity. They take 22 months from planting to maturity. Crowns and slips are planted in the nurseries first before transplanting to the main seed bed. Woman 4. Suckers. These are small plants that grow from the base of the main stem. They have adventitious roots which grow quickly when planted to form a new plant. They are used to propagate bananas, sisal, and pineapples. When planted, suckers give uneven growth leading to maturity at different times. Hay should be planted when they are young. Tubers. Agriculture planting materials. There are mainly 2 types of tubers, the stem and root tubers. Root tubers develop from the thickening of the adventitious roots. Root tubers are not commonly used for propagation since they produce weak stems. A good example of a root tuber is the sweet potato. On the other hand, stem tubers have some auxiliary buds which are sometimes referred to as eyes. These eyes sprout to produce stems which grow into plants. Stem tubers are therefore swollen. Stems with scales leaves. A good example of a stem tuber is Irish potato. Woman 6. Vines. These are soft wood cuttings which produce roots easily upon planting to give rise to new plants. They are cut from the mother plants and planted directly into the field. Soft wood cuttings vines are taken from rapidly growing shoots. The soft upper parts of the shoots are preferred. When preparing the cuttings, some leaves and nodes are included. Roots are produced from the nodes. Woman 7. Cuttings and setso. Cuttings are portion of plants pots which are cut and then planted. They may be from stems, roots, or leaves. A stem cutting must have a bud which develops into shoot. O. The root cutting must have an eye. Cutting must have an eye. O. Cuttings must produce leaves as soon as possible so that they can start making their own food. O. Sometimes cuttings are induced to produce roots by use of rooting hormones. O. Once the cuttings have developed roots, they give rise to new plants. O. In some crops, the cuttings are big enough to be planted directly to the main seedbed, whereas there are some plants whose cuttings are first raised in special nurseries before they are transplanted to the seedbed. O. The cuttings of napier grass and sugarcane are planted directly on the seedbed, but those of tea have to be raised in special nursery before they are transferred to the seedbed. O. Examples of crops which are propagated by use of stem cuttings include tea, cassava, and sugarcane and napier grass. O. The stem cuttings used to propagate sugarcane are known as sets. Sets are stem cuttings, which have 3-5 nodes are usually 30-45 cm long. Factors affecting rooting of cuttings. Temperature for the cuttings to produce roots. Warm temperatures are required around the root zone, while cool temperatures are important for the aerial part of the cuttings. 4. Most species optimum day and light temperatures for rooting are 22-27 degrees C and 15-21 degrees C, respectively. A relative humidity. Proper rooting of cuttings requires high humidity which lowers the transpiration rate. It also increases and maintains leaf turgidity all the time. As such, cuttings should be rooted in greenhouses or under shady conditions, where relative humidity can be regulated. Sometimes the propagation area can be sprayed with water too. Agriculture planting materials. Hardwood cuttings do well in dark conditions since they have high amount of stored carbohydrates and therefore rooting is excellent in darkness. C. Oxygen supply. Plentiful supply of oxygen is required for root formation. The rooting medium used must therefore be capable of allowing proparation. D. Chemical treatment. These rooting hormones which promote the production of roots in cuttings. The common ones include IAA and indolacetic acid. E. Leaf area. Softwood cuttings required a lot of leaves for photosynthesis, while hardwood cuttings will produce roots better without leaves. Selection of planting materials. When selecting materials for planting, the following factors must be considered. Suitability to the ecological conditions. The selected planting material should be well adapted to the soil conditions, temperatures, and amount of rainfall in the area. There are many varieties of maize, for example, which are suitable to different ecological conditions. Hybrid 620-12, for example, is mainly for the high altitudes areas of Kenya, 513 for the medium altitudes and the Katumani composites for the lower rainfall areas, while the coast composites are suitable for the coastal conditions. Each variety will grow well and produce high yields if grown under the correct conditions. Purity of the materials. Planting materials should be pure and not mixed with other off-types. The percentage purity of planting materials will affect the seed, while higher seed rates are used for impure seeds. Germination percentage. This is a measure of the germination potential of seeds. It is expressed as a percentage. For example, a germination percentage of 80 means that for every 10 seed planted, 80 of them are expected to germinate. Germination percentage helps to determine the seed rate. So, crops. Lower seed rates are used for crops with higher germination percentage, while higher seed rates are used for those with lower germination percentage. Certified seeds. These are seeds which have been tested and proven to have 100 germination